And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. It's my privilege to be your host this evening. I am very excited tonight because we're going to share quite a bit of information, and I have a very special guest I'm going to be bringing on here shortly. Double Diamond Mac McDonald. He's a veteran of the network marketing profession. We're going to hear some information from him. But what I want to do first is I want to welcome all of you that have been invited as a guest this evening. Perhaps a friend or a family member, maybe a coworker has been sharing with you the Zija International products. Maybe you're one of our customers. Maybe somebody's been talking with you about, the realities of today's economy, talking a little bit about some of the advantages of creating a secondary income stream, or maybe the privileges of being able to build a business from home, create a full-time income on a part-time basis. And so regardless of the reason you're here, I want to welcome you because tonight's information is really for those of you that are invited guests. Now, let me kind of preface the next several minutes by sharing with you a little bit about what it is we do during this particular time frame. This is designed to give you an overview of our company, our products, the timing with our company, and to hear from somebody that has had an impact in their life with a home-based business. Now, the reason I get to be the host tonight is because for myself, this whole concept of creating an income that can become a leveraged residual income was something that was introduced to me 30 plus years ago. I used to be a cross-country truck driver, ran 18-wheelers cross-country, did that for a number of years. And in the mid-'80s, I was looking for a way to create a substantially above average income to be able to meet the needs of my older son as he was hitting school age, but also to have the time freedom to be with him. And this profession of network marketing has fulfilled on all of those promises to the degree that literally within 10 years, I was able to retire. Probably 20 plus years earlier than I had ever imagined being able to retire. I was able to then live a life that, frankly, most people only dream about. Now, several years ago, I had the opportunity to move back to the family home to care for my elderly mother. I'd just come off of 6 years. I hadn't worked. I was a stay-at-home grandpa. I got to raise my first grandchild. That was an incredible blessing that was only available because I'd already put together my retirement plan, and I'd done that a number of years earlier. Now, when I was introduced to this company, Zija International, appreciate that, I had already seen and experienced what this industry can offer. I had the ability to recognize the kind of company to look for, and that's what I want to share with you this evening, is that over a number of years that I had been retired from the industry, I was presented with literally hundreds of different opportunities. And I kind of set my criteria like this. I was not willing to get back involved in the home-based business, the network marketing profession, unless I could find these three things. Number one, I was looking for experience, success track record, and integrity at the corporate level, the people that run the company. Because quite frankly, the greatest challenge in our type of business is finding the right company, to find a company that's going to be around for a long, long time, that treats their distributors like family. And for me, that was the most important ingredient. Secondly, I looked for products, and a lot of people think, the product should be the most important ingredient, and I agree that that's a critical ingredient to a successful business. The fact is over the years, we've seen companies that have had really good products, and in some cases, exceptional products, and those companies aren't in business anymore. It takes more than a great product to create a long-term opportunity. And so when I looked at products, here's the things I looked at. I looked for products that were unique in the marketplace. It's always best to be number one. I looked for products that were highly consumable. Ideally, something that's used on a daily basis, reordered on a monthly basis. This keeps the ongoing flow of revenue through the compensation plan, which is ultimately why people get involved in a business, is to create an income. But most importantly, the products had to really work. See, when you understand how to develop large distribution organizations and a large consumer base, the bottom line is you must have products that people are going to use on a daily basis, independent of whether or not they're actually involved in the business end of the business, or else it's ultimately just going to fall apart. Now, the third ingredient was timing, and I'm going to mention that just for a moment, simply because a lot of people have the mistaken understanding that the right time to join a network marketing type of business is in the beginning. That, get in, in the very beginning, that's where you make the big money. Well, the fact of the matter is, it's just kind of a common sense approach. If you look at this industry, over 70 years in business now, if you go all the way back to the origin companies, the Amway Corporation, Holiday Magic, Vita Nutra, the original companies, if you look over almost 70 years, there have been literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands of companies that have come and gone. And in that period of time, there's only a couple of dozen, about 2 dozen, maybe a few, maybe 30 companies that have been able to stand the test of time. And if you think about it, the chances of joining a startup or pre-launch company and having that become one of a couple of dozen companies that becomes, the long-term opportunity, I mean, what are the chances of that? I mean, you got a better chance of being struck by lightning than finding a startup company that'll become a legacy company. And so when I was first introduced to Zija International, these were the things that got my attention. First and foremost, the owner of the company is a gentleman by the name of Ken Brailsford. Now, you may not recognize Ken's name. He is an icon in the industry. While you may not recognize his name, you already know who he is. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. Ken was the first guy to take medicinal herbs. He started with cayenne pepper and encapsulate them in the little gel caps we're all familiar with today, and make it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of medicinal herbs. He started his first company in 1972, Nature's Sunshine. Today, that company has been in business over 40 years, going on 45 years. It has done billions of dollars in sales. It is one of that, couple of handfuls of legacy companies in our profession. Ken went on in the 80s. He started his second company, today known as Unicity, started as Enrich International. That company has now been in business over 30 years. Again, billions of sales. Those two companies combined have over 70 years in existence. They do over $1 billion a year in sales today. Now, what's very interesting is, of all the companies that have ever started in this profession, Ken Brailsford is the only person who's created 2 of those legacy companies. It goes without saying that in terms of success track record and experience, the owner of Zija International, this is now Ken's third and final project, clearly we have the most experienced, most successful leadership at the corporate level. Number 2, products. What attracted me to this company was the simplicity of the product line. All natural, organic, whole food. We are the world's #1 producer of moringa-based products. Now, you may want to check out moringa. You can Google it. Moringa, it was called by the National Institutes of Health in 2008, U.S. government's NIH. They reported that the moringa oleifera tree was the most nutrient-rich botanical they had ever studied. Now over 5,000 botanicals they've studied. We're the only company that's been able to take that product, that botanical, that tree, and create whole food nutritional drinks from it, giving the body all the nutrients that the body needs on a daily basis. We've expanded now. We were first category creators in nutrition. We've expanded into a multitude of other product divisions. Today, we're the only company that produces clinical grade essential oils available to the consumer. Now, essential oils have been around for, ever and ever. There's two companies in the essential oil market space right now that do well over $1 billion a year in sales, and yet the purity and the quality of our products cannot be touched by either one of those companies. We've expanded into healthy sports nutrition products. One of the fastest growing areas of nutritional supplementation today is sports nutrition. And again, category creator products that are designed to provide the results that fitness buffs and sports enthusiasts and professionals are looking for without the harmful chemicals and colorants and artificial sweeteners and soy-based proteins and all that sort of thing. We're forerunners in personal care products, skin care, hair care, personal care products. All again with the Zija mantra being all natural, healthy, no artificial ingredients, colors, and so on. When you have products like this, these are products that in today's world, in today's economy, people are looking for these kinds of products and they don't know where to find them because they're only available through independent distributors of Zija International. Now, the final thing to look for, if you're interested in creating, a home-based business with products that meet recognized needs, and a company that you can be confident is going to be here decade after decade after decade. How do we know? Because of the track record of Ken Brailsford. The final thing to look for is timing. Now, when I was first introduced to Zija several years ago, it was a little tiny company. I mean, we were doing next to nothing in volume. We had one product, our original, Moringa drink. There was nothing to us. And it's taken a long time to develop the infrastructure of the company. Today, we are now in the top 1% of network marketing companies that has ever existed in history. And that is based upon, number one, we have now been in business over 10 years. We've been able to stand the test of time. Number two, we are virtually at $1 billion in sales. Now, in today's world, we're still considered a very small company. But if you look at our infrastructure, we look more like a company that does billions of dollars a year in sales and has been around for multiple decades. We are 100% vertically integrated. We control the plantations that grow our raw materials. We own our own pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility, literally, over 100,000 square feet of office space, warehousing, shipping, distribution, manufacturing. We're able to ship in over 50 countries today as we speak. We have the capacity with our current infrastructure to do over $1 billion a year in annual sales. Everything is in place except for the distribution organization. And see, that is, if you will, the ideal time to get involved with a company where everything is already put together and it's simply a matter of spreading the word about our incredible products and the income opportunity. And so today, Zija International is poised over the next couple of years to grow from where we are today, about $100 million a year, to 200, 300, 500 $1 million a year and beyond. And if that's not enough to cause you to want to look more, I'm going to bring over my guest this evening. I have Mac McDonald. Mac, just a little heads up, I'm bringing you over to this side of the broadcast. I've had the privilege of being able to spend some time with Mac McDonald. Mac, let me unmute you here. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
I am fantastic. I can't see you, but maybe if I clicked on the right button now, I need somebody to show me this computer technology for one of the old guys getting into the new millennium here.
Yeah, that's why we have kids or grandkids, to make sure they can get the iPhone running, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was about to say, as I was bringing Mac over, I've had the privilege of being able to spend time with Mac and McDonald and his wife, Pat Terry, now over, I believe, probably a year and a half, close to 2 years. They've become double diamonds with our company. These folks are, really, they're legends in network marketing. They've been in the industry for a number of decades. significant income earners. They're pretty modest, so they're not going to brag what they've done, but they have a lifestyle the people really only dream about. I asked Mac if he'd take a few minutes and join us this evening because, and Mac, we have quite a few, guests that have been invited, several new distributors, and I think it would be really helpful to them if maybe you could share a little bit about, what brought you here. Let's kind of, go in the Wayback Machine. You and Pat have been very successful doing this for a number of years, but you weren't always in network marketing. Tell us a little bit about, life before your, entrepreneurial, ventures.
Well, it's funny you should ask because I've been thinking about that quite a bit recently. And, the world is changing and we got to adapt or we're going to be left behind. And as I was thinking about it, I had the good fortune of being born on a farm in Ohio way back in 1945, a long time ago. And I had some great parents. I was a middle child. They were very nurturing, and my mother always would tell us we could do anything we wanted to do if we put our mind to it, that we could succeed at it. So that's sort of how I was brought up. Now, did I have a good work ethic? Yeah, I started work when I was 12 years old. And I've been working every day since then. And so what did I do? I knew how to have a job. I was very good at a job. So 12 years old, get out there. I decide, well, if I want to do what I'm told to do, go to school, get good grades, and get a good job, then I better go to college. So I did. I got my master's and bachelor's degree and went out and got a good job. That job happened to be the U.S. Air Force. Good, solid organization. Paycheck was going to come in, $303 a month guaranteed. Kidding? Not a whole lot of money, but it was solid, and all I had to do to succeed to get to the very top was perform and do the very best that I could. And I enjoyed that, helping the world, promote peace, not war, but peace. That's what I felt our job was in the Air Force. What I learned in the Air Force was become a problem solver. That's all we really were as an officer, is to solve people's problems. But it wasn't solving people's problems. They brought us the problem, but they really brought us the symptom. And we had to figure out what the problem was so we could offer them some solutions. And so that's where I got my skills. So 30 years, 26 days, and 5 hours later, that job came to an end. And I had to reevaluate. Well, now what do I do? I've never been trained to be an entrepreneur. Yes, I wanted freedom. I had some sense of freedom and promoting freedom around the world as we traveled around the world. And I had the good fortune of meeting this lady, have her with me all the time in the country of Oman, and fell in love with my soulmate. And we started traveling. She is a registered nurse. She knew a lot about sickness, managing sickness, and what I thought was keeping people well. And so we went on from Oman to Hawaii, and then down to Australia, and then finally ended up back here in Washington. And she was really sick. And I says, you're a nurse and your dad's a doctor. Why aren't the medical system, why aren't they getting you well? And she says, well, that's the big problem that most people don't understand. The medical system manages people's wellness or sickness. You have to manage your own wellness. And I says, then why aren't you well? She says, because I've been trained in Western medicine. I says, well, if we're going to get you well, let's find some way to do that. So I went on the search, and we finally found some natural products, and within 3 months, I had her well. And that's when we came up with this idea. If we were going to have freedom, we needed to work for ourselves, but we couldn't afford to get that franchise. We couldn't afford, or did we have any skills to be able to run our own business? So we looked at this and says, well, this is a perfect example here. We started sharing this product information and found ourselves in this thing called network marketing. Now, nobody had ever offered that to me before, because I guess they thought, well, he's a colonel. He's locked in. He doesn't need this. He probably wouldn't even know how to do it. So he's too much of a professional. But I wish they would have offered me the opportunity when I looked at that product line. They didn't tell me about that. But I got the products, and after the products worked, I said, this is really neat. And so we started to earn an income. And in our first 6 months, we replaced Pat's entire nursing income just by sharing this with other people. Well, since that happened, then why don't we get a little more busy? and let's share it with more people. And by the end of the year, we'd replace my kernel income. Now, that's unheard of, starting a business, to be able to earn that kind of income in such a short period of time and have total freedom. We didn't want to work for anybody. We didn't want to ask anybody for time off. We wanted just to help people have a better quality of life, and that's what we found. So that's the story in a nutshell. However, as you get started, because you talked about find the right company, something you can be passionate about, find the right leadership, find the legacy, and all those things. And we thought we had found that, but Pat was never really happy because it was difficult to get people to understand wellness and to take nutrition and so many nutrients that you could take. You had to figure out what you needed. We had to convince people they needed that, and that was what was going to help them. And she said, if we could find just one thing that somebody could take and have it, if it could be liquid, and get all the nutrients that you need to have for your entire day by just mixing something up and taking it one time. Well, we looked probably for 15 years, never found that. And then somebody showed us Zija in those little packets of moringa. Well, we flew to the company because we wanted to see who was behind this. We wanted to see the manufacturing. We wanted to understand it, because if we were going to put our credibility on the line, we wanted to make sure that this was a real deal. And that's what we found. When we met Ken Brailsford, it was over. We were going to join him. Didn't even really know what the product was, but with him at the helm, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be successful. Then we met Dr. Plant. The knowledge that he has is just amazing, and the benefits is that he's on YouTube, he's on Facebook, teaching us everything, telling us how we can help other people. We don't have to know everything because the brains are there. And then I always rely on this little booklet here that Dr. Plant and his cohorts wrote. If somebody has a question, I look in the book and it tells me exactly what they need to do using natural products to overcome any challenge that the body is going to have. And that's what I like about it. We don't have to be the experts. All we have to do is convince ourselves, see what this is all about, then share it with other people. Find out what people's needs are. That's where we go to the problem solving again. If I can find a person's problem, I can give them some solutions to the problem and let them make a decision. So, do I sell anything? No. I sell the concept of wellness. We have a company behind us that is going to produce everything that's needed for total wellness. You covered most of those things. And so this is a niche that is the perfect place, the perfect time. In 2018 is the perfect year to get into this, because so many people are upset or fed up with prescription drugs, and they're looking for natural ways to solve their issues. Too many people are on them. 70% is already on one prescription drug. I like to tell people, yeah, I'll be 73 here Sunday, and I don't have any prescriptions. I still have my 30-inch waist that I graduated from college in. I can still put on the uniform they gave me. No, they issued me. They didn't give it to me. They issued it to me in 1967, and I feel fantastic. I probably have more energy now than I've ever had in my life. The other thing is I get to understand these products very well. I mean, all the products that we have here, from the essential oils and everything, I get to test them on me because I'm known around the world for hurting myself a lot because I'm very active. And these things really do work. There's not a question. I've never used one that didn't do what it said it was going to do. And the standards that they're produced at is just unquestionable. So if somebody's looking for a perfect business model, network marketing is it, that you can build that residual income. If they're looking for the perfect company, there is not another one out there that can even come close to what Zija has put together, and Ken Brailsford and Dr. Plant and that fantastic corporate staff that does all the work. We do all the sharing, and they somehow manage to write us a check every week. Every week it comes in on Friday. And so all we have to do is go out and share it with more people, and they'll even show me on Monday what I could earn on Friday, on Tuesday what I'm earning on Friday, on Wednesday what I'm earning on Friday. I've never seen that happen before either. So there isn't a downside to this. Now, can you do it? Well, when I started this way back in 1997, I was convinced I could do it because my mom said I could. But the if was always there. If this doesn't work, what are we going to do? And if this doesn't work, the if was always there. And somehow the if one night was in my mind. I said, this does work. I see people like Fred Holmes and all the successful people that are out there. It works. So I guess the question, if I work, then it will work. So this is what it's all about. Get out there, share it, because people are looking for what you have. Absolutely.
You know, I got to tell you, Mac, you have said so many things that I wish we could talk about, because you hit so many points there. And I guess that last item that you were talking about, does this work? Obviously it works. Okay, look at what you and Pat have been able to accomplish, and you know, and I've built my business from home, caring for my mom. This is, you know, 99% of what I do is what we're doing right now. You know, either on the telephone or here in my you know, office room from home with mom just, you know, a few feet over there. Does it work? Of course it works. So the real key is figure out how to do it. And, you know, and what you said, you know, you had good work ethics growing up on a farm. You know, I was raised by a single mom. I didn't know anything other than work. You know, that's what one does. We work. And, you know, this is the most fun work I've ever done. I know that you and Pat have a lot. And again, I got to tell you one last thing, and then I'll let you go back to the other side. You can tell somebody's involved in Zija because most people think they're 20 years younger than they really are, right? I weighed what I did when I was in my mid-20s, and I don't have any prescriptions either. And the worst thing in the world you can do is go to your high school reunion, because there's a whole bunch of old fat people there.
I agree.
Hey, listen, great having you. Always appreciate the time you spend with us, Mac. Thanks for joining us. We'll look forward to seeing you on our next broadcast.
Okay, super.
Say hi to Pat.
Get involved. Thanks.
All right, we'll let Matt go back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you've had a chance to hear a little bit about our company. You know, the things that you know, MLM professionals look for. You know, quality, integrity, track record success with the corporate team, right kinds of products, and timing. And something that Mac did not share with you, there were many companies out there that would have paid him and his wife Pat to join them, because they really have been that successful. They chose Zija International because it was a place for their team to be able to succeed. And so, in closing, two quick things for you. Number one, especially those of you that have been invited as a guest, if you have questions, get with the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast, or maybe they sent you to the you know, the recording replay link. We've got many ways to share information with you about the product, the company, you know, how we do the business. Get your questions answered. At least use our products, okay? That to me is the most important thing. If you are not using our products, and you have no way of knowing what it's like to truly have a life unlimited. Now, for those of you that are ready to make that decision, you're ready to change where you're going to be next year. Develop a secondary income stream. Maybe it's something as simple as putting together, you know, a fund for the kids' college education, or adding some additional income to your retirement fund. Or maybe, like many of us, you're looking for a way to create a full-time income and do it from home. Do it around your schedule to be able to control your own life. If you're ready to make that decision, the person that invited you to this broadcast, they will help you get started. And then we're going to do something very special here on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be hosting a special new distributor training webinar. Just like it is right here, we're going to have live question and answer session. I encourage you to get involved in that. Figure out what it is that we do, just like Mac was saying. Does this work? Obviously it works. The question is, are you going to work? And then, do you know what to do? And that's what we're going to be teaching on Saturday morning. So join us then. One last shout out to Mac for joining me, Mac McDonald. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much. And folks, we'll go ahead and sign off for now, and we will see you Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific. All right, thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.